Are you interested in the Air Force Reserve, but you're not sure what the next steps or how to get the process rolling? Well, if you follow this guide, this should actually help you be successful as going through the process with the Air Force Reserve and hopefully becoming a member of the Air Force Reserve family. All right, you made it this far in the video, which means you're interested on how can you get this process going. The first step, get in contact with your local Air Force Reserve recruiter. You can either find them on Google, or what you could do is download the Aim High app, which you can find at either your Google Play or App Store, and then input your zip code, which will find the closest Air Force Reserve recruiter to you. Biggest thing, shoot them a text, shoot them an email. I highly don't recommend you go pull up to your recruiter because they're going to probably turn you away as they're currently processing other folks that are ahead of you. Which goes to the next part. You're going to go through what's called a pre-screening process. This process helps the recruiter know if you're eligible or if you're ready to start the process right now. You may be eligible, but depending on how you do on the practice ASVAB at home, you may need to give yourself some time to study. So that way, when it's ready for you to take the actual aptitude test, you can give yourself that opportunity of performing better than just sending you up there and you not doing well on the aptitude test. After you go through the pre-screening process, your recruiter will give you one out of two options. 99.9% of the time, your recruiter is probably going to have you process via remote or what we call the Air Force Commission enlisted portal. So that is a system where your recruiter will allow you to process everything via home. You don't have to come to office to do any paperwork as far as so that way you can get set up to go to MEPS to take your medical examination and take your aptitude test. As well, that system will allow you to do your security clearance or at least start working on it before you even go up to the military entry processing station. The second option is you could come into the office, but depending on how your recruiter's schedule look, it may not be as quick as possible to your preference, or it could be at least 2 weeks out. Remember, not only is your recruiter recruiting folks right now, but they're also going out to different events, air shows, high school presentations, lunchroom setups, or if depending on the time of the year, they're doing their quarterly training or their annual training, which means they're not in that local area where you live at. So I would probably recommend the remote process, as that allows you to go ahead and kind of start that process going now. But if you want to sit in and talk with the recruiter, you can do that as well. But as well, they're going to get you started up with your AFSET because that is the system you're going to have to use to get your security clearance going anyway. Now, the paperwork you're initially going to go over with your recruiter is not saying you have to join the Air Force. All it is saying is giving you the opportunity to go to the military entry process station to take your aptitude test and to take your medical examination. Once those two things have been completed by you, the member, this is when your recruiter will give you a list of jobs based off of what you qualify for that is determined by the Air Force mission. Okay? So after you pass your ASVAB test, you pass your medical examination, then you'll go into the job selection process. To learn more about the job selection process, I do have a video made on how that process goes. I would highly click on that so you have a better understanding on what the job selection process is. After you selected a job with your recruiter, this is when your recruiter will go ahead and start finalizing your case file. What they're going to do is basically, if you haven't already, they're going to request for you to submit your security clearance for them so they can go ahead and review it and get it prepared so they can transmit it to the Office of Personnel Management. And then from there, they're getting all of your documents prepared for enlistment day. So that way, if your job came with a bonus, they're making sure that's annotated in your contract or any of your enlistment paperwork. If you're traveling or if you have college credits that you're entering at the appropriate rank. After you have completed or after your security clearance has been submitted, and then after your recruiter has basically been given the authorization to go ahead and continue with the enlistment, that's when you and the recruiter will basically meet in the office and this is your opportunity to when you'll do your oath of enlistment. So you're not doing it at MEPS as an Air Force Reserve processor. You're going to do it with your recruiter. Now, depending on having like a family member that is currently serving or retired as an officer, they have the ability of administering your oath. If not, more likely there's going to be a local officer or one of the gold bar recruiters that will administer the oath of office to you. After you've completed and you officially sworn into the Air Force Reserve, you are actively in the Air Force Reserve, but you're halfway there. You'll be serving in what's called a development training flight. So that's the Air Force version, or the Air Force Reserve version of the delayed entry program, except this program you're actively doing your 1 week in a month. So you'll participate in your unit training assembly weekends all the way until you ship out for basic training. Okay, so what that program basically is going to do is help you be prepared for basic training. So when you finally do ship out to San Antonio, it's not as foreign or it's not as unknown as far as just throwing you in the deep end of the water, hoping you can swim. We're going to try and give you as much resources and knowledge as possible, so that way when you do go to basic training, I won't say it should be cake, but it's Air Force basic training, so it shouldn't be that challenging for you. And then once you're done with basic training, go to technical training school, and once you complete that, you're back to your unit, and then you'll be considered operational Air Force. So hopefully this kind of helped explain the process for you, so that way the next time you get with a recruiter, the whole process should be kind of quick because you looked at this video. So I appreciate everybody clicking in. If you got any questions or any information that you would like to know more, drop a comment so that way I could probably share that information further. All right, appreciate it.